we're going to make rolled belly pork that's going to be stuffed with some homemade Nduja, and we're going to serve it with a baked mushroom risotto. So for this recipe, you're going to need 1 slice of belly pork. This is OSB pork that we home reared, and it's about 1 kilo in size. 1 sausage of Nduja, some seasoning and some basil leaves. You're also going to need a little bit of twine just to roll up your belly pork for cooking. And for the risotto, you're going to want 300 grams of arborio rice, a couple of shallots or a small onion, about 150 grams of mushrooms, which I've just chopped. You can use small or large. And we've got a knob of butter, and then we've got a stock cube to make up to the stock later, and a little bit of oil too. So the first thing we need to do with the pork is to butterfly it open. So first I'm just going to lightly press down on the meat gently, and then we want to slice halfway along all the way through to the other side, but not quite to the very end. We want to leave it so we can open it up. Okay, so once you've gone all but to the end of your meat, you're then ready to open it up and just spread it out nicely. And now I want to liberally just season the meat with some salt and pepper. Once you've seasoned all the meat all the way across, we're going to spread the Nduja into it, and it's like a spreadable salami that's been made. And so I'm just going to remove the outer skin there, and then I'm going to get little pieces of it and just dot them across the meat as evenly as we can. Once you spread your Nduja all over the pork sort of evenly, it smells amazing. It is definitely worth doing. Then we want to be able to put these basil leaves across as well. So I'm just going to cover these nicely. And then we simply just need to start rolling it up. You want the skin side at the top, and we're going to roll up from the bottom. So I'm going to keep going all the way along, and hopefully we'll end up with a nice skin on the outer side there, ready to go into the oven once we've done it with the ties. Okay, so now we need to tie up our rolled piece of belly pork. This is a tricky bit. I am no master whatsoever, but I'm going to try and demonstrate a way that I find easy enough to do it. So the first thing we want to do is just tie a normal simple knot at the end of your twine, leaving a little bit there for it to pull on. I then like to bring it from the middle towards me. I bring it over to this side. I leave my finger here next to the twine, and I go round my finger to the bottom and then through that loop that we've just made. And then you'll see it can slightly tighten up against it, and just rock it back and forth until you've got it as tight as you want it to be. And then I'm just going to tie a little knot at the end just to hold it in place, and then cut off. And you want to complete doing that all the way along, keeping them a small distance apart. Okay. Once you've finished tying all of your belly pork there, you want to pop it into your roasting tin and just give it a little drizzle with some oil, and season with a little bit more salt and pepper. If you really like your crispy crackling, you can always add a few score lines to your belly pork skin as well, but I'm just going to leave it like that, and then I'm going to pop it into a preheated oven at 200 degrees for 20 minutes, and then we're going to turn it down to 150 and leave it for 2 more hours.
If you liked this cook along video, please subscribe to our channel, where you can find many recipes and cook along videos with OSB pork. Or for more inspiration, why not consider purchasing a copy of our OSB pork dedicated cookbook, Porkalicious, which can be found in our website shop.
When you're nearing the last half an hour in the oven with your belly pork, you want to start looking at making your baked risotto. So very simply, the beginning bits, we just put in our chopped shallots and our mushrooms into the dish, and then we want to drizzle them with a little bit of oil to stop them from sticking, and then we want to add them to the oven to bake them for about half an hour. After your pork has been slow roasting for 2.5 hours, you want to take it out of the oven along with your mushrooms and shallots that have just been in for half an hour and started to slightly soften, and then we can start making our risotto, baked risotto too. Okay. While your meat is resting, it's time to make the baked risotto. So we need to take all of the juices that have been cooking with the belly pork and the Nduja, tasting absolutely gorgeous. We don't want to waste those, so I'm going to mix those in with our mushrooms and onions now, and then I'm going to mix in the 300 grams of our boreal rice until they're nicely blended and covered in all that lovely flavour from the oils there. Now we need to add our stock. So I'm using a stock cube on this occasion, but if you've taken the bones off from your belly pork, you could have made a really nice stock with those as well and added that. So we've got 1 litre of stock, however you choose to use it, that we're going to pour over the rice, and then we just need to pop it into the oven. A little bit out, and then you need to pop it into the oven, lift the temperature to about 180 for 25 to 30 minutes until all the rice has absorbed the stock, and if you want to mix it up as you're cooking. So we're just halfway through the cooking here of the baked risotto. So as you can see, it's all starting to mix up nicely. I'm going to give it a gentle stir and then put it back in the oven so that the rice can absorb all the stock. Okay, so after about half an hour in the oven, I've just taken out the risotto, and as you can see, it's soaked up all of those lovely juices. So we just need to add to that this knob of butter that we've got there, and that will nicely melt into the rice, breaking up all those grains slightly and having a nice creamy texture that we want. Now it's just time to plate up, so I'm going to put a few scoops of the risotto on the plate, and then add a little bit of the belly pork on the top there as well. So we'll add a couple of slices of that. You can always take off the string if you prefer. I'm going to accompany ours with a small tomato and olive and basil salad, but as you wish. Hope you all enjoy.